All right, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL show on the KSL Sports Network. I'm Alex Napolis, happy to be joined by Josh Clark. And then we have a very special guest joining us today to help us with today's reveal of the new kit. It's the Vice President of Marketing and Game Production, Tyler Gibbons. Tyler, how you doing, man?
It's always good to see you guys. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to the chat.
Beautiful. And thanks for coming on, first of all. But for any new listeners, just give us a little deep dive into you, what you do, what you bring for Real Salt Lake, and what you do for the club.
Man, I'm a dinosaur around these parts, my friend. I actually just crossed 10 years at the club as a staff member. I For that, I worked 3 years at the ABC4, which was the broadcast partner. So this is actually been 13 seasons, going on 14 seasons here with the Claret and Cobalt. Basically, I created Real Sports Live back in the day for Dunny and Bill Riley. Still on air, doesn't look anything like it did. It did when I created it, but then jumped over the ship to the club, and basically, I brought the club out of the digital stone age, as I like to joke. Used to be just kind of behind the keys, doing all the social media content, and it's grown from there. Now. What I do is I oversee and manage our PR communications, our marketing, our digital, our social, our in-stadium production, our broadcast production, the merchandise, and community departments. So just a few things around
Just a handful.
here.
Just
But
a
no,
handful of
it's
things.
an amazing gig. I love this club. I love what I get to do. It's a huge honor, truly. But what you guys always want to talk to me about is my big responsibility is what we wear.
Absolutely. And that's why we're here today. The only time we want you on is to break down the kit. And obviously today is a big day for Real Salt Lake because the new kit has dropped, the 2025 away kit for Real Salt Lake. It is the Grid City kit. Tyler Gibbons, this is your baby. You've created this. Talk to us about this kit, man.
So this is kind of a ode and to the original way Salt Lake City was founded when they were setting up the city. We are architecturally famous for our grid system. And basically, fun facts that I got to drop for you is that we are Salt Lake City, and this system is quite literally in every single architectural and urban planning design book in the country. It's studied at every university. If you get an urban planning or architectural design kind of degree in college, you will study Salt Lake City in the way that this thing is set up. The Mormon Temple is the kind of center point of the grid in the original layout went to Ninth South, where what is Ninth South now. The rhyme and reason why our city blocks are so wide and the streets are so wide is because it was originally designed so you could do a U-turn in a horse-pulled carriage. And technically, one city block in Salt Lake can fit 9 Portland blocks inside of it. And so as we were looking at it, yeah, that's why the checkered pattern is there, is that's a representation of our grid. And really what we want to describe to people is that we're all interconnected and all roads lead to soccer here in Utah. Because ultimately, depending on whatever street corner you're at, you never know who you're going to run into here in Salt Lake and how they're going to be a part of your lives. And we feel like we're the melting pot of Utah, truly. We're the most diverse crowd in the state. And that's something that we're really, really proud of. And we're really, really proud of kind of what Utah represents. And ultimately, personally, the state has given me so, so much. It's built my life. I moved here in 2012. And to be a part of the club basically since then, and to be kind of in charge of, what these gentlemen and these women wear on a week in and week out basis is a huge responsibility, a huge honor that I take very seriously. And how we approach things is I want to do kind of cult classic traditional kits with a hyper localized Utah twist. And this is what we came up with this year.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I've said this a few times over the last few years, but as we're progressing through the years, I keep getting a new favorite kit. Um, and this is now my new favorite away kit. I
Oh,
have to be honest. I'm a huge fan. I love the classic soccer design to it, but with the little details within each checker, even the little details in the jock tag. Like it's beautiful, and when put together with the shorts, the socks, and on a much fitter guy like a soccer player, not me, it looks incredible, and it's going to be great on TV. It's going to be great, just to see your favorite team wearing something like that, because league wide there's winners and losers in shirts, and there's a lot of losers, and this one definitely is not a loser. So props to you on this one.
oh man, thank you. It's a labor of love. I'm really proud of how the final design came through. I really like the red details around each of the grid just to kind of tie in all three of our colors. That's why the red stripes are because you want to, like you wanted it to make you feel like it's Real Salt Lake. And the truth behind it is, as I was designing this in 2023. I knew the Royals were finally coming back too. And so I know everybody loved the Beehive State kit. I do. But for me, as somebody that does everything in the club, like I needed the Royals to own gold for
Mhm.
the next few years. Like I needed them to establish themselves back in this market. And I knew the primary kit was coming. And so, that kit for the Royals is going to stay through the 2026 season, 3 straight years, because we're reintroducing them. And so that's why the shift to white, just so everybody wonders. I've seen the comments, I know it. I know that the beehive is a beloved color and we're gonna get back to it. Don't get me wrong, there's gonna be a different time. If I'm lucky enough to still be here, because that's just how sports go. But at the same time, like it'll come back. And there is a thought process, there is a logic as to why we did shift and didn't stick with that kind of pyrite color. But ultimately, the gold does pop on this bad boy,
Yep.
and it kind of brings it all together, in my opinion. And I'm really, really happy with the final product.
So diving into now, I guess a little bit more of the intricate details of this new Grid City kit. You mentioned the gold. There's a lot of gold around the badge, the new look. How do you integrate? How do you get the design to integrate with all those colors and make it look unique to Real Salt Lake?
Like for me, the brand is, like our red and blue, that's RSL. And then with the highlights of the gold and, in away kits, you got to have a light and dark, right? For competition's sake. So that's what I hope, the fans know is like from a competition perspective, you have to have a light kit and you have to have a dark kit because and they go against each other. And so our primary is a dark kit. For example, Seattle's primary is a light kit that whatever ugly green you want to call that. If like when we're looking at this and I presented it to Adidas, they go, "You sure?" And I go, yeah. I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Man, nobody's asked us to do anything like this before." And I was like, "That's exactly why I want to do it." And I was like, I want to stand out. I want us to be different than everybody else. And ultimately, it is a swing. It is a thing that you got to take a risk on, and it's part of the burden that I have is that I know I got to wear it because sometimes if you swing and you miss, then there's nobody else to point the finger out besides me. And so, it's a weird stance to and kind of thing to grasp when you're doing it the first couple of times, but now I've been in this seat a little bit and I understand, and I understand that ultimately, like, I'm making kits for pe the people of Utah. That's the first thing. Like, I'm not worried about folks in New York. I'm not worried about people in Portland. I'm not worried about the folks in LA. Like, I'm making kits for the people of Utah that call this place home, and then RSL fans. And as we're pushing through things and we're bringing back the Royals, I want to make sure that they understand that there's a thought process, that there's a tie back to this wonderful state that we all call home, and that it's something that we should all be proud of. And so as I was presenting it, like we went back and forth and they gave a couple ideas. I pushed them this way, I pushed them that way, and then we ended up here. And so like the nice little subtle red everywhere, the gold that pops out is the kind of the way that I snuck in the Beehive kit to it. And then we updated, the jock tag because the mountains truly are, what represents Utah. It runs from the bottom of the state all the way through. It shapes where we live. And so that's going to be something that, I'm happy to tell you guys that'll always be a part of our primary kits moving forward is the mountains, because really truly feel that it defines this state. And then when we go to the secondary kits, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna tell some stories, and we're gonna try to tap into the rest of this wonderful place. And so for us, it was about the grid here in Salt Lake, and man, I'm just proud. I'm just proud of the way this that bad boy looks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You're probably the first person I've ever heard say, "Let's design a kit after the grid system."
Well, last time, like, what's funny, I'm gonna jump into this one because what's funny is that topographic map kit that they did in like
Yeah, the
20,
Smurf one.
yeah, like
Yeah,
what happened is like so everybody knows like I started doing this in 2021, that kind of leap year where there was no ownership. Before that, I would literally get handed the kit like 5 days before launch. I had nobody had any idea there was part of the old regime. Those individuals were doing it, and they didn't really have a creative background. They didn't really put much thought into it. It was just kind of like it was. And so like as I got this opportunity, I started laying out plans. And yes, it is part of the grid system, but it's also part of like football heritage, right?
right.
And so like there's inspiration to it. And ultimately, like I know we don't think about that kind of stuff, but like it's kind of my job to think about stuff like that and how I can tie in the unique elements that Utah brings and bring it to life. And so I've got everything laid out through 2031, which is yeah,
2031.
yeah,
That's really
which
not that far away, is it?
no, it's not, man. Like what's funny is we're 2 years ahead. So like I got 2020, I'm working on 2027 right now, and like and I don't really remember what we do until like the Jersey launch season comes around. I'm like, oh yeah, 2026 next, like in 2026. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is what we're doing. So it's fun to get that far ahead, but this bad boy's been done and polished for almost 18 months now. And so now that the public is seeing it and ultimately enjoying it, like it is kind of cool. It's a proud papa moment is the way I describe it as, everybody seeing it live and with all of our storytelling today.
So we've all seen it now, the rollout for earlier today with the new kit. Out of all the details that you guys have put into this kit, which one would you say sticks out as your favorite intricate detail that you've been able to add to this?
Um, you know, like it's real deep, but like the lines inside of the checkers represent the the people and what life is like inside of each of our city blocks. And so I lived downtown my whole time here since 2012, basically moving around and about in that area. And truly, there's pockets in every neighborhood that are different. And I really enjoy, like Central City, the Liberty Wells area. Like I really love the ninth area. I appreciate downtown and what that is blossoming into and all the cool things coming down that way. The avenues and the capital areas got some really cool spots. And so like that's what I appreciate the culture here because we really truly do have an art culture. We really do truly do have like a unique lifestyle here and it's different and it's unique and people are you never know who you're going to run into and that's part of what I truly do appreciate about Utah is that, the of how much it's evolved since I moved here. Like I can only imagine what it's truly been like for folks that have lived here their whole lives to see how different it is from 2025 to 2000s or 2002 when the Olympics were here. And that's kind of what I keep thinking. It's like, man, people that were here for the first time in the Olympics, when they come back in 2034, there's got to be my mind's got to be blown by how much this place has grown and evolved and truly, it's made a difference in my life. And I'm going to make sure that everything that I do, if I was for as long as I can do, just kind of shows the love back to the state.
I love it. Utah truly is a hidden gem, and even though it's growing, it's still somehow small lake city. And like you said, you can
Yeah.
literally run into anyone at any time. Yeah, I'm always asked, would you ever move out of Utah? And I can honestly say I couldn't. You know, it's home. The mountains are home. It really is just a special place. So, I
Well,
appreciate the kids that represent where I'm from, and not just, manufacture templates that have no, you know, characteristic or creativity. So yeah, I love it, dude.
we're working on it. You're a kid, connoisseur. Like you've seen all the stuff that we've done previously, and ultimately, like I know I'm shaking things up because if you look at our history until the Beehive kit, like, and that was very subtle. Like that was a learning experience for us. Like the hexagonal patterns were very subtle. Like it's very
Mhm.
high fashion embossed, where like once you get up close, you see the details. And so with this kit and last year's kit and playing with the patterns, I knew it was going to be a risk kind of making it a little bit more bold with this checkered pattern, but it's part of what we're going to do and push forward and evolve. And I really like what we're doing in 26 because it's a true traditional kind of thing, and I feel like it's also like when you see it you're like, oh, that's RSL, okay. And I feel like we're one of the true clubs out there that has an identity where you see
Mhm.
red and blue and that, oh, that's Real Salt Lake. There's not many clubs that you can say that. Maybe the All Whites in the Galaxy, maybe the Seattles, but and maybe the Five Stripes, but other than that, like and I don't say that as disparagingly to the league. It's just that's part of the growth process, right? Of
Right.
everybody. And I feel really, really good about where this brand visually is, and how we can, keep making it contemporary and evolve throughout the year. And I'll just drop this one. We'll get that third kit for you guys at some point. Maybe I
Ooh,
don't know. Maybe it comes around next year.
yeah, maybe it does. No, I'm just thinking back to, we've done multiple Jersey launch shows with you, and it's nice not roasting you the whole time. You know?
It's welcome. Like some guy named Brian Dunseth once told me, if one it's not when they roast you that you got to worry about, it's when they get quiet, because when they get quiet, then you know you did something wrong and they and they pissed you off or you pissed them off.
I mean, I don't know who this Brian Dunseth guy is, but I think he might be right?
Real quick too, Tyler, with this kit in the past, with the Beehive kit, we saw sometimes alternating shorts that went along with the kit. Talk to us about the shorts in this one as well. Are you guys playing around with some stuff, or what are we going to see as far as the short selection goes with this kit?
Well, we're recording this a little early in the day, so you haven't seen the full creative that we're rolling out today. But yeah, we got three options. We got blue shorts, which is everybody's favorite. I think it's the cleanest look. It makes everything pop, stand out with the white socks. But we also have the option to do red shorts and white shorts. And that's another competition thing. When it comes down to it, like what the referee is looking at when it comes to a collision, a foul, sometimes they just need to be able to see from their point of view, like what color went to it. So there's a light and a dark. And so for us, if we say go up to the PNW and Those guys in I think they call it ugly rave green are wearing their blue shorts. We might have to wear the white shorts or we might have to wear the red shorts. Or if we go down to Dallas and they got their blue shorts on, that's when we switch it up. But we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna do a whiteout for the home opener this year, and we'll wear the white and blues. And then on 4th of July, I'm definitely gonna make them wear the white and the red shorts. Do a little Americana feel for it. So it's kind of fun to play around in it. I know that later in the creative, we're gonna ask for everybody's opinion on what their favorite is. I'm assuming it's gonna be blue, but everybody sometimes everybody likes the clean, icy all whites too. So
I don't know about that. What about the print on the back, the name and number?
so that's a competition decision. It'll be dark blue, so the broadcast cameras can pick it up.
Cool.
So it'll be the blue that matches the on the front. So
Very cool.
yeah,
I'm really excited
that
to
was
see
literally
these.
yeah, that was literally a thing that we had to go back and forth with Apple because originally it was supposed to be the gold, but like ultimately, from a clear kind of broadcast and viewing experience, the blue is just so much easier to read. And so that's why it'll be blue on the back.
That makes sense. I mean, logically.
Yeah.
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 So, and I hate to put you on the spot here, but of all the kits that you've designed so far, between the time you took over to now this release, this rollout, is there one that's been your favorite, or are we just going to give it to this checkered one already?
Um, the Peak Utah will always be a, a soft spot, a special place in my heart because it's the first primary that I got to do. And those are that's RSL, that's Claret and Cobalt. So like it's always gonna hold a special place for me just because like that's the weight of being in the seat that I had. Like, truly, like, I don't take these things lightly. A lot of restless nights when you're trying to put together, what this is. But I do have a white whale I'm happy to talk about. And it's an indigenous people's kit that I've been working with, trying to figure out from a legal perspective. Since 2021, we got the legal side cleaned up with on MLS. I'm working with some native artists and creators. And then, we've gone through the Utah Division of Indian Affairs. Now I'm just kind of working with the tribal councilors and the leaders, and I'm not going to give up. Hopefully we get it through in 2029 because it's there. It's going to be so beautiful. You just gotta make sure that you're doing everything right. And it's a personal project of mine as somebody that's a registered member of the Cherokee Nation. But that's my white whale, and I want to get that across the line at some point. But I took a really big swing in 2027. A really, really big one. The next year's kits on the Royals is something that a lot of folks on the Checkmark company are really like, and I got something special for you guys on the RSL side next year too. So there's some fun stuff coming down the pipeline, but the Peak Utah one probably just because it's the first primary. That's everybody loves your first, right? So
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, hey, we're here for it. Josh is here for it. The kit connoisseur is here for it, man. Just talking about all these kits and talking about the designs and everything that obviously integrating Utah just makes me excited. I'm sure it makes the entire fan base excited. So, Tyler, we appreciate you coming on and explaining this kit, giving us some details about the new Grid City kit, and keep it up, man. Keep it up. We here at the RSL Show have absolutely loved the designs.
I appreciate y'all, and thank you guys for doing what you do. Without folks like you, what this place has become, it just wouldn't be the same. And so I really do appreciate how much love and dedication that you guys show to this club, and yeah, the people in and outside of the building. So anything you guys ever need, you just give me a holler, all right?
Absolutely, man.
You
Josh,
got it.
anything
Thank
else
you,
you want to
sir.
throw out there?
No, no. Me and Tyler chat. We'll We'll talk about offline stuff later.
Tyler, anything else you want to throw out there to the fan base? Get it out into the universe before we wrap this one up, man.
Yeah, look, I see it all. I really do. Appreciate everybody and their opinions. I take it to heart. If you ever see me on the concourse at the stadium, you ever just want to shoot me a message, you guys know, please let me know. I love to talk with each and every one of you, and just hear it out because where you guys experience this club on the men and the women's side is unique and it matters to us. And so anything that we can do to improve, just please let me know, and I'll do my best to keep improving around here.
And with that, Tyler, again, thank you so much for taking the time, man. We appreciate you. You do a phenomenal job at your job, and you're an even better person. So thanks for taking the time and coming on, man.
Appreciate y'all.
And that's going to do it for us here on the RSL show on the KSL Sports Network. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, go follow, go do what you have to do to follow the RSL show on the KSL Sports Network for the best RSL content.